This is the message recap for Sunday, July the 11th. We continued in our series, Raw Faith, trying to identify places where faith intersects with real life. That faith is not just some doctrine, though doctrine be important. It's not just some belief, it is our action. It changes how we live day to day. So we identified 5 of those. That faith is required in the waiting of life. When we're trying to figure out what to do, or we're just waiting on results to come back, or we're waiting for life to change, or that person to come into our life. It takes faith to wait. It takes faith then to obey. That there are times God will ask us to do something that we really don't want to do, something we don't really maybe even understand why He's asking us to do it. It doesn't make sense to us, but it takes faith. It takes faith in the mourning of life. There are things that we grieve, certainly when we lose a person, but anytime life changes, whether that change is for the good or for the bad, we grieve the things that we lose, and that's okay to grieve. And we need just to be in our grief. Not to fix it, not to try and analyze it or even understand it, but just what we feel is what we feel. But it takes faith to recognize when it's the right time to move forward. We always move forward with grief in tow. We never move on without it, but we move on with grief informing us, helping us to see things differently. That takes faith. It takes faith in the decisions of life, the choices. We're reminded that God sees things in us that no one else can see. He sees in us the good that we can't see in ourselves. He sees in us skills and abilities that we can't see in us. He also sees that in other people. Sometimes we're critical of others, and He sees the good. It takes faith to see things the way that God does. But most of all, it takes faith to live that way, to walk the walk. That it's not just a faith that comes occasionally. It's not just a faith to help us through our latest crisis, but it's a faith that day by day, moment by moment, it begins to form us. It transforms us. It directs us. It gives us comfort. It gives us peace. Everything we need is found with faith in Jesus Christ. So this week, New Life, identify where you believe you're at, and then go to the Word of God and find a promise that can hold you in that season, a firm foundation. Whoever hears these words, these promises, it's like a wise man who builds their house on a rock. And then surrender it. Trust God with it. And when you want to take it back, go back and reread the promise. Claim the promise. Memorize it. Hold on to it. And keep releasing it to Him. Have a great week. We'll see you soon.